everyone, my name is Amos Nimas and I just changed my Bash RC, which is very interesting, but today's video, it's not the topic of, well, today's video. So, in today's video, what am I gonna talk about? As you can see right now, I'm using Ubuntu without any tiling window manager, and tiling window manager, it's the topic of today's video. Love them or hate them, you need to love them, because they're great. If you don't love them, you're an ignorant, and let me fix that for you. Let me help you understand how amazing tiling window manager can be. I have this argument right here, and this is a comment I put on a YouTube video about a YouTuber who said stuff about tiling window manager, and he said he didn't like it. He didn't like them. He think that he said that, to his opinion, they're not good. Oh yeah. It looked like it's the first time you are running the Xmage launcher. The launcher will now download its own dedicated version of Java. Afterward, the license, blah blah blah. I don't care. Just let me play. Sorry. This has nothing to do with the video. It's just that I'm installing Xmage, which is apparently a way to play Magic the Gathering on your computer using Lutris. Ideally, I would have preferred to play Magic the Gathering Arena, but it doesn't work on my phone. Doesn't work on my portable computer, doesn't work on this main gaming machine computer, which has an NVIDIA graphic card, and that's why I'm using Ubuntu. So normally it fixed the problem, but for some reason Lutris decided, or you know, Magic the Gathering Arena doesn't work with Lutris on this machine at the moment. I don't know why. If I knew why, I would probably find a way to fix it, but I don't know. So yeah, just ignore this installer and let's get back to the main topic of this video, which is tiling window manager. So I'm just gonna read what I've wrote, so easy content. First complaint is about how customizable they are. Yeah, so the first complaint that this YouTuber made against tiling window manager was that they're too much customizable. There's too much stuff that you can change and customize, and how is this a complaint? How is this bad in any way, shape, or form? I love customizability in anything. And I agree that most tiling window managers suck when you buy them, when you download them out of the box. They don't come with a configuration file that works when you launch it. It's dumb. I agree. But that's not what he was complaining about. He was complaining about the amount of customization that those tiling window manager have. I don't even know how you can complain about that. How can this be a yeah, so I'm gonna continue reading. Yes, you need to configure everything, but you only have to do it once in your goddamn life. Yeah, that's true. You see, what he was complaining about was the configuration file, and I get it. For most people, it's a lot of code, a lot of text. You don't want to play with this when you're a Windows user, when you just start using Linux. But when you know what you're doing, when you go look online what to do. I mean, for Awesome, for example, I cannot talk about other tiling window manager. I only used Awesome, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because it works out of the box. It's the only window manager that I know of which works out of the box. Is it good out of the box? Absolutely not. It's not to my taste at all. I don't like the default configuration. I change almost everything, but it works. So you can already start to configure it from the tiling window manager, and that's dumb that you cannot do that in other tiling window manager. You need to configure them with your previous setup, non-tiling window manager setup, and then move to the window manager that you want to use, which is completely stupid. Let me customize the window manager from the window manager itself. That makes sense to me. I don't know why there's not more tiling window manager that works like this. I mean, just give us the basics. I'm not talking about load software. I'm talking about, can I at least use it to customize it when I install it? I don't, without having to install anything. Just I want at least to be able to modify stuff from it when I install it. That's it. And maybe open a web browser, because I'm dumb and I don't know what I'm doing. So just give me a way to access the internet and give me a way to modify the config file within the tiling window manager when I install it, and I'm gonna be happy. So yeah, that's my complaint. It wasn't even what he was complaining about in the video. So yeah, sorry, I got a little bit excited there. If you save your config file, that is. Oh yeah, so when I said you have to only do it once in your goddamn life, that's if you save your file in the cloud. If there's GitHub for that. There's you can even use Google Drive. Maybe Google is evil, but the fact that they give you cloud space, I think that it's like most of those things that there's pros and cons. And for the how essential it is in the modern day to have a cloud space to put file on, I think that it's really great that Google offered that. And I'm not just gonna talk against those big corporation company. I'm using Ubuntu. Of course, I'm capable of understanding that sometimes they have good product. They have good, services that they offer. The problem is that they have sometimes really bad practice behind those products, and sometimes it goes so far that you cannot use the product at all. And it happens with a lot of great product, and it's sad, and the community suffer from that, and in the end it's just hurting the company itself, even if they don't understand it. That's called stupidity, and it's everywhere. So let's continue reading, because it's a very long comment, and at the speed that we're going, it's gonna take time if I don't accelerate. Plus, it's by making these files available publicly that it can become easier for new users to set up their own. So yeah, if you share your configuration file on GitHub, other people can use them as a reference to make their own. So we just keep improving. That's what's great about that. It's not like a software where there's only a small amount of people who will care to go play in the code and update it and improve it. It's something that everybody who use a tiling window manager has to customize and has to look for ways to improve their own setting. And that's why spend this time improving something and not sharing with people what you did. What it does is that other people, when they will want to make the same changes, they will have to restart all over again. So it's reinventing the wheel each time. It's not efficient. Yeah, I'm gonna be able to launch a client. I have no idea how this works. Process completed. How does it look when you launch a client? Ooh, we have a small Windows terminal right here in Wine. It's scary. Terminal, scary. Okay, let's go back to the topic. Sorry, I'm trying two things at the same time right here. I'm talking about Tiling Window Manager, and I'm trying to install Xmage. So, dual video team. There's other people who must do that kind of shit on YouTube. I do. I don't care. My content is really. I don't do editing. I'm transparent like this. And my English is improving at a very fast rate, by the way. Because I'm a French speaker, which means que si je le décide, je peux me mettre à parler français et vous allez à peine vous en apercevoir. And I can go back to English. Oh, it's so great to be able to speak two languages at the same time. Not at the same time, but you know what I mean. Okay, it's called Suck Less Philosophy. Why stuff basic utility with large amount of bloat people might not even need? Okay, that's contradictory to the first thing I said about installing at least web browser and a way to edit text file when you install Tiling Window Manager. And for the web browser, I mean accessing. I don't mean that they should install you a new web browser. I mean that they should give you a way to use your web browser when you install it and use your text editing software. I don't mean that they should install you more software. It's a window manager. It should only manage window when you install it, nothing more. And I'm not asking for anything more. So here we have a promotion, I think, on Xmage. Sorry, I changed the subject again because stuff pop in my window. Ability fixes. Okay, they did a lot of change, and I don't care. I never tried the game. I never tried the game yet. I haven't tried the game yet. That's what I was trying to say, to pronounce, to Okay, let's back to the video main topic. Ooh, we're getting distracted today. You let user decide what they want on their machine. That's very important. And, the point that I was making about that is that I think he was complaining that window managers and all that, they don't have settings to increase the volume, decrease the volume, and basic utility. They don't. I think that some of them, like my customization of Awesome, don't even display the time by default. So that kind of stuff. If you have a battery and you're using a portable computer, maybe it doesn't display the battery left on your computer. It's stuff like that that he was complaining about. But the fact is that those programs are so simple that you can make them. And if you don't know how to make them, probably someone has, because they're simple. You understand? So it's again about you configuring it once, and once you have this little software that gives you the information or stuff that you want, then you don't have to reinvent the wheel each time. And yeah, you have a space and most window manager like a bar on top where you can display information at all time. I don't really do that kind of stuff because I don't like bars in my window manager. I don't have them, like I don't have sidebars, top bars, even the little panel on top of your client windows like this. I don't have that. I remove everything. It's just a square with the application inside, and it comes with pros and cons. And when I want to launch application or make choice, it's all done with D menu. And I would like I would like it if somebody made software like the menu, but only to display information, but not constantly. That's my problem with the bars on top and on the side. You can make it so that it's hidden until you move your mouse cursor, but again, it's not what you want if you desire a computer that you can do everything only with the keyboard. And when I say everything, of course, that's another point. There's some software that require the use of a mouse or are almost unusable if you don't use the mouse. And for those software, I understand, but the problem is that your computer interface isn't a software, so it doesn't have to follow the same restriction as those software that require the use of a mouse. And ideally, for most stuff that you do outside of application, using only the keyboard is more efficient. And even if you think differently, it's just the way you configure your keyboard. Because the way I configure my keyboard, I can have my hand, my right hand on my mouse and my left hand on my keyboard, and still be able to execute most of my shortcut with only a single hand, and being comfortable the way I'm placed. So think about that when you choose the shortcut you use on your keyboard. Okay, let's continue reading because it's a long comment. And yes, that makes more decision and install to make. But if you can't think for yourself and makes a few installation, why use Linux? So the point that I'm making is, yes, having to install a lot of those software, like I said, that doesn't come with those window manager, because they're just supposed to be that window manager. That's it. They're not supposed to regulate the time or regulate the volume or stuff like that. Well, you have to install them or you have to make them, and yes, that takes more time. Yes, you have to make decision which one will I install and stuff like that. But again, you just have to do this once in your life, and it gives you more options. And if you're not willing to do that, then why are you even using Linux? That's just thinking for yourself. That's just taking the time to make good decision. If you're not willing to take the time to make good decision in your life, don't use Linux. That makes sense. To use Linux, you have to make a lot of install and a lot of decision on what you're gonna use and why and stuff like that. So maybe Linux isn't for you, and Linux isn't for everyone. I'm not against people using Windows, by the way. I just know that Linux is better. But for some people, having better stuff isn't ideal. It's not because a tool is better at doing a job that people are better at using this tool to do the job. You can be objective and say that Linux is better and still say that some people should not use it because, it's not compatible with the way they think. Have you ever heard of the word programming? Yeah, so that's my point again, that if something doesn't exist, just make it. Most of the time it's easy. Most of the time it ain't even a software, it's just a line of code.
It's just a line of code that you need to learn how to make, and once you learn it, you have it for life. Why? Why do I need to repeat myself so much? I mean, once you learn it, once you have made your line of code, you save it in the cloud, and you have it for life. It's done. It's easy. You can easily make most of those things yourself, like I just said. If an open source software doesn't suit your need, okay, sorry, that wasn't well pronounced. If an open source software doesn't suit your need, no copying a file is no more complicated than having to require. Okay, that doesn't go together, so that goes here, and that's another answer that I gave to this video, and I won't mention who is that YouTuber because I don't remember his name, and because I mean, he has the right to have a shitty opinion. We're in a free world, free country. People have the right to have shitty, stupid opinion about stuff. They have the right to be ignorant. The only right that they shouldn't have is the right to religion, because that's worse than ignorance. No, copying a file is not more complicated than having to reconfigure your setting manually with the GUI. What the F you talking about? Because yes, this YouTuber was claiming that, oh, you know, it's easier to configure everything with the GUI each time you install a new OS. Bull freaking shit! I mean, how simple is your setup if you can just do it from the GUI each time you install a new OS? I mean, do you know how much time I spent just customizing the most Ubuntu to be just functional? To my standards. I mean, functional to my standards. For me to be satisfied with just using Ubuntu, do you know how much freaking customization I need to do in the GUI settings, as you say? It's way easier to have a setting configuration file, which is in plain text, which you can just copy, save in the cloud, and then recopy when you install a new OS. And there you go. Your configuration is all there. It's done. It's one click. It's copy paste. Maybe 2 click. How hard is that? It's way harder to go into GUI and change one by one every setting. That's stupid. People who think like that are stupid. So yeah, stupid. You do understand that even do you do use shortcut, even do you do use shortcut with Tiling Window Manager, even do you do Tiling Window Manager, you can still use the mouse for all the thing you mentioned in the Tiling Window Manager. Okay, so right here, my spelling is bullshit. It's crap. It's shit. But what I'm trying to say is that in a Tiling Window Manager, you can still use the mouse. And most of them, at least. I don't know. I only tried Awesome. But in Awesome, the mouse doesn't disappear. It's still there. You almost never use it, but it's still there. It's right there. You can use it if you want. You just, most of the time, don't wanna. But you have it. So that's dumb. The argument of, oh, well, you know, the mouse is really useful, so that's why Tiling Window Manager suck. Well, you know what? You still have the mouse in Tiling Window Manager, and you don't have a non-Tiling Window Manager that suck. Stupid. The mouse still exists. Yeah, you don't need that. Okay, sorry, it's still about the mouse what I was reading. If you think it's more comfortable to do so, that is, I am not hating. You have the right to your misinformed opinion, just like I have the right to think it's shit. Yeah, so what I'm saying here is that he has the right to think that Tiling Window Manager is not good, but the fact is that is misinforming people, is spreading misinformation about Tiling Window Manager, and that kind of misinformation gets stuck in people's head, and it can prevent people to even try a Tiling Window Manager, and if they do that, they can miss so much. They can miss so much. So you just have to give it a try. And I mean, I used Tiling Window Manager for about 2 years, so I think I know if it's bad or good. I also used non-Tiling Window Manager for the rest of my life before that. So until that point, I only used non-Tiling Window Manager, and I spent 2 years with Tiling Window Manager, and I can argue they are way better. Also, depending on your config, you can scale your Tiling Window Manager. Okay, so the other argument is that he was complaining about the space that each window take on your screen, and you can rescale them if you have a good config. And also, the only reason why your window would not be squished on the only reason why your normal non-tiling window manager would not squeeze your window smaller on your screen is because they're overlapping, and that's dumb. You never want a window like this to, like, there's one behind the others. That's stupid. You don't want that. That's completely dumb that you have stuff open that you cannot see. Why would it be open then? And why would it have visual if it's not for you to see it? I mean, okay, this visual right here is useless, pretty much useless, but it's there. It's there. I can see how much time I've been recording, so it's there for a reason. So yeah, why would you hide stuff behind another window? If you want stuff to be open and not visible because you want to focus on a window, well, there's a way for that. It's called having multiple workspace, and you can even do that on a non-tiling window manager system like Ubuntu. I just don't remember how. I think it's, yeah, you can press here, click, and here we're on a new workspace, but the stuff hasn't disappeared. It's still out there. And you see, that's similar to a window manager, to a tiling window manager. You can see everything, and it's clear. There's a bunch of stuff open, and I should know about that. I shouldn't think that there's almost nothing open because everything is behind my other application. I should know what's open at all time on my computer, and if I don't want to know what's open, I can put it on another workspace and forget about it. Not really, since you set them yourself and use the same. Okay, so again, if you don't like it, if you don't like tiling window manager, it's your fault, because they're so customizable that if you don't like the way they're configured, you did a really poor job configuring them. So that's my last argument, that if your tiling window manager suck, it's probably because you do, and you didn't put the time and effort into making it better. And I will end this video with a sad story, that my amazing config that I had for my tiling window manager, the most recent version of it, because I do save it on GitHub and on the cloud, but I didn't do it often enough, and I didn't have an robust backup system enough. So I lost my theme for my terminal, and I lost a lot of my awesome config, and that's sad. And this taught me a lesson, and each time something like that happened to you, you should learn from it and adapt. You need a really robust system of backup, and you don't need to back up everything. Like, I understand you don't need to back up your software. You should take the name of your software and note to not forget about some of them, maybe the link of where you got that software, and you could place all this on GitHub. Don't need to have the entire file. That takes a lot of memory, and backing that up in the cloud isn't really useful. But your config folder, even that takes a lot of memory. You don't have to copy the entire config folder, but copy the most useful config file you have. I mean, there's config file for pretty much every software you use, and you may not realize it, but you do modify a lot of those configuration, and it does take times to do. You don't realize it because you do it during a long period of use, and you add new software, you configure them, you add a little bit later, you add other software, you configure them, but losing all those config at once, it hurts. So I am Amos Nimos, and see you later for another video on another topic. Could be any topic. I don't know. Maybe it's gonna be a video about me buying a lot of magic cards at the dollar store. I like to do that because it's fun to buy magic cards to see what you get. It's a lot addicting. Warning, it's like buying a lottery ticket and stuff like that. So it's gambling. It's a form of gambling. You can like and subscribe the video. Leave a comment. Tell me if I talk too fast, too slow, if I make too many spelling mistake. Okay, it's 25.